This is a true story set around 1965, during a time when the conflict between the US and Vietnam was escalating rapidly. The entire world believed it would soon turn into a full-scale war. The movie begins in the year 1966. We see that US Navy pilots are bombing areas where they suspect suspicious activity. Among these pilots is one named Dieter Dingler. While flying over Laos and bombing the area, one of Dieter's plane wings gets shot, causing part of the wing to break off. As a result, the plane crashes, but Dieter survives the crash. The local people spot him and try to capture him. Dieter runs toward the jungle and hides under some leaves, successfully avoiding being seen. However, he's still not safe. He's in enemy territory and people are searching for him everywhere. First, Dieter hides his gun and radio. Then, at night, he climbs into his sleeping bag and sleeps in the jungle. In the morning, he hears the sound of a helicopter sent to search for him. But by the time he emerges, the helicopter has already flown away. He even climbs a large rock to get a better view, but sees no rescue team in sight. Later, while drinking water in the jungle, Dieter is caught by a few locals. These men belong to an organization working under the Vietnamese army known as Phansa Hua. They take him to their village. The villagers are simple, everyday people, but Dieter is now their prisoner. They tie up his hands and feet. Tries to communicate, but none of them speak English, and he doesn't understand their language either. Eventually, they take him to a governor who does speak English. Dieter tries to lie, saying he's German, not American, because he was born in Germany. But after a while, confesses that he is American and proud of his country. The governor gives him a document and tells him to sign it. The paper declares that what America is doing is wrong and against humanity. Dieter refuses to sign. The governor says if he signs it, they will release him within 2 weeks and treat him as a guest. Dieter still refuses. As a result, they start torturing him. They tie one of his legs to a rope and attach the other end to a buffalo so that it drags him. They also hang him upside down from a tree and spin him violently. Then, they submerge him into a water pit, leaving only his head above water. Later, he is taken to another camp, where several prisoners are already being held, including 2 American pilots named Gene and Dwayne. Dieter learns that they've been there for 2.5 years. This camp isn't a high-security prison, but escaping is still risky. There are 6 guards during the day, and fewer at night. Dieter wants to escape, but is told that without water, he'll die in 2 days, out in the jungle. He asks when the rainy season will arrive, and is told 5 or 6 months later. Dieter says he can't wait that long. Gene warns him about the dangers in the jungle, including poisonous snakes, and says they'll be dead within 2 days. Dieter still insists he will escape. But when he sleeps at night, his hands and feet are tightly bound, leaving him unable to move. Dieter says he needs something sharp. The next morning, he sees a nail stuck in a tree. He manages to steal it. It's at night, when the guards tie them up and leave. Dieter uses the nail to open his handcuffs thanks to his experience working with tools back in Germany. He then frees all the other prisoners. For the first time in 2.5 years, they sleep untied. Dieter waits for the rainy season, hoping it will allow them to escape. Planes often fly over, but at such a high altitude that they can't be seen or signaled to. Dieter suggests escaping during the rain, but Gene opposes it, saying they'll be released soon anyway. Meanwhile, their condition worsens due to a lack of food. Though the guards don't torture them much, their living conditions are already a form of punishment. Eventually, the guards begin tying them even during the day while they eat. At this point, Dieter reveals a plan to his fellow prisoners. He says that while the guards eat, they leave their weapons aside. This is their chance to seize the weapons, capture the guards, and signal the next passing plane for rescue. They begin preparing for this. When tied during the day, they secretly free themselves and use a piece of wood with a glass shard to monitor guard movements. They even start building a fake plane on some wooden planks to deceive the guards. One day, a guard catches them, points a gun at them, but they convince him it's just a game. The guard believes them, and they narrowly escape danger. Time passes, and now the guards are also running low on food. Since the camp is far from any village, They want to end everything and return home. Dieter warns his fellow prisoners that the guards might kill them any time due to desperation. One night, Dieter sneaks out from the hut they are tied up in and starts digging near the bamboo boundary of the camp. He discovers that it's possible to dig a tunnel and escape. Then he informs his friends, ... Would you like me to continue the English version of the story from this point onward? Here's the full English translation of your text. Dieter says we need to set a date, and they decide on July 4th. No matter if it rains or not, they all agree that they'll escape on this date. They are now mentally prepared to escape. At the same time, they've completely stopped receiving food. The only things they're given to eat are live insects, which they're forced to eat because if they don't, they'll die of starvation. One day, while all 6 prisoners are sitting outside, they overhear a conversation happening inside the kitchen. From behind a wooden wall, they listen in. Among the 6 prisoners, one of them understands the local language and figures out why there is a shortage of food. It turns out that the US Army is continuously bombing the area, making it impossible for farmers to grow crops. The locals are now planning to kill all 6 prisoners. Their plan is to take them into the jungle, shoot them, and then claim that the prisoners were trying to escape. Dieter says, "We can't stay here anymore. We have to leave tomorrow." Next day, during lunchtime, when the guards place their guns aside and gather in the kitchen, the prisoners untie themselves and begin their escape. Their plan is to first take control of the guards' weapons and surround them from both sides, capture them, then try to contact the American military. They dig under the bamboo fence and move to the other side, where the kitchen is, and where the weapons are stored. Dieter grabs the rifles and splits the group into 2 teams. He says, "Dwayne and I will go from one side, and the other 4 of you from the opposite side. We'll surround them and take them as hostages." He gives out rifles to the teams. As both groups approach the kitchen from different sides, Dwayne starts feeling sick, and Dieter notices that Jean didn't show up from the other side. No choice left, Dieter confronts the guards himself. But there are more people than he expected, and just as they're about to attack him, Dieter opens fire. He kills several of them, and the rest flee. Among them is a short man, whom Dieter chooses not to kill because he had secretly given Dieter rice several times. Dieter tells him to run away, and he does. Dieter then collects all the food and supplies he can find. He looks for his boots, as traveling through the jungle barefoot is nearly impossible, but he doesn't find them. So both Dwayne and Dieter have to leave barefoot. They call out for Jean, but he and his group are already gone. They didn't follow the original escape plan. Dieter is stunned and angry. He and Dwayne start walking into the jungle. In the jungle, they eventually run into Jean and one of his companions. The other 2 have gone their separate way. Dieter asks, "You're wearing shoes, where are ours?" Jean tells him their companions took Dieter's and Dwayne's boots with them. Dieter is shocked and says, "How could they take our boots too? And why didn't you come to the kitchen? I was waiting for you." Jean has no answer. Carries a gun but no bullets. "The ammunition is with Dieter," Dieter says. "I'll give you the bullets, but in exchange I want that large sharp knife you're carrying." Jean agrees and makes the exchange. It becomes clear that Jean never intended to escape in the first place. Dieter and Dwayne set off on a different path through the jungle, while Jean and his companion go another way. The group splits to avoid attention. Traveling together might draw unwanted eyes. Later, it begins to rain, and Dieter and Dwayne sit under large leaves for shelter. The rain provides them with drinking water, helping to rehydrate their bodies. They even have food now. As they're eating, a strong current of water suddenly rushes down, sweeping them away. They manage to grab onto a rock for safety. The next morning, when the rain finally stops, Dieter tells Dwayne, "There's a river below. We'll build a boat and follow the river. It'll take us to Thailand and we'll be saved. I'm confident no one will spot us if we take that route. Build a raft using bamboo and begin moving downstream." But the rain has made the water very fast and dangerous. Suddenly their raft breaks apart and drifts away. They're forced to swim to shore. Now they must find another way out. On the riverbank, Dieter finds a torn shoe and gives it to Dwayne, saying, "Put it on the foot that hurts the most." Dwayne replies, "It's hard to say. Both my feet are hurting." Dieter, realizing it's too hard to carry the rifle through these terrains, throws it into the river. Dwayne's condition worsens. They reach a place that once used to be a village, but now it's completely barren. They rest there. Dwayne tells Dieter, "I can't go any further. I've run out of strength. You'll have to go on alone from here." Dieter says, "No, we'll go together. I'll help you." And just then, Dieter hears the sound of helicopters. Would you like me to continue translating from this point as well? Here is the English translation of the final part of your story. He hears the sound of helicopters and becomes very excited. He sees 2 American helicopters heading in his direction. He starts shouting and waving his hands wildly from below. But the helicopters don't see him and fly away. Dieter becomes completely heartbroken. This was their one chance to go home, and now it's gone. As they sit in silence, Dwayne tells Dieter not to shout or speak loudly, fearing that guards might hear them. But Dieter replies, "I haven't said a word." Dwayne is now so weak and mentally disturbed that he starts hallucinating. He thinks Dieter is talking, even though Dieter is completely silent. Dieter helps Dwayne lie down and then tries to start a fire using 2 bamboo sticks, a technique he learned from their captors. He successfully starts the fire. The next time the helicopter flies overhead and spots the smoke, Dieter burns down the wooden hut to attract attention. This time, the helicopters fly toward him, and Dieter becomes hopeful that they're finally going to be rescued. But the American soldiers in the helicopter assume he's a local enemy and open fire at him. Dieter narrowly escapes and shouts, "You almost killed me." The helicopter flies off once again. The next morning, Dieter and Dwayne move on, but both are now in terrible condition. While walking along the edge of a field, some villagers spot them and surround them from all sides. The 2 men kneel down and raise their hands, trying to surrender. However, locals hate Americans, and with the farming tools in their hands, they kill Dwayne. Just as they are about to attack Dieter, he pulls out the large knife he still has and threatens them. The villagers back off and flee. Now alone, Dieter runs deep into the jungle and hides all night. The villagers search for him, but he manages to stay hidden. Eventually, Dieter's mind begins to deteriorate, just like Dwayne's had. He starts hallucinating Dwayne's voice and feels like he's nearby, though Dwayne is dead. Dieter is weak, mentally disoriented, and starving. One day he sees some soldiers by the riverside eating food. After they leave, Dieter sneaks in and grabs their leftover food. As he sits in the jungle eating, he sees Dwayne sitting beside him. But it's just a hallucination, Dwayne says. "My feet are really cold." Dieter takes off his own shoe and gives it to him. But in the next moment, he realizes no one is actually there. Another sign of his broken mental state. Dieter continues hiding in the jungle for several more days, surviving by eating snakes from the river. Then one day he sees another American helicopter flying overhead. He picks up a large leaf and waves it. This time, luck is on Dieter's side. The helicopter sees him and lowers a rescue rope. As they begin pulling him up, the local villagers, still searching for a try to shoot him. But a soldier in the helicopter opens fire on the attackers forcing them to flee into the jungle. Dieter is rescued. He is taken to a hospital, and then reunited with his fellow battalion members, who welcome him like a hero aboard their ship. Dieter had spent 6 months in captivity and survived 23 days alone in the jungle. He became one of the few Navy pilots to ever escape from enemy territory. The fate of his other fellow prisoners was never known, and with that, the true story behind this movie comes to an end. Let us know in the comments which movie you want to hear about next. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more stories like this, subscribe to the channel. Would you like me to now write a YouTube video description or a SEO optimized title for this movie explanation?